Have you found your who for your business? If you haven't, you need to find them. We're going to talk about it on today's episode. Listen, there's a lot to learn when growing and scaling your business.
That's why we created the Business Choreography podcast, where we talk about choreographing your marketing, operations, and sales into dynamic systems that increase your revenue and your impact.
We'll explore solid business principles and discuss all things that make businesses dance to success with clarity.
We'll help you figure out where the holes are in your business and what you can do to fix them. Think of us as your official business choreographers, aka your insider growth strategists.
Remember, your choreography matters. Welcome to the Business Choreography Podcast. Hi guys, welcome back to the show. I'm excited that you're here. Today we're going to be talking about finding your who. There's a whole lot that goes into it. And in so many instances, we are the typical entrepreneurs. I've been there. I've bootstrapped a number of companies. I'm sure you have too. Maybe you're doing one right now. And the truth of the matter is that sometimes we have these delusional thoughts that we're going to go in and we're going to do every part of the business. We're going to build everything. We're going to do everything, and we're going to make it to that next phase where it'll then go into the universe, right? Of bringing you back millions and making you lots of money and helping you achieve the life that you dreamed of, right? Well, in so many instances, it's really, really easy to forget that a lot of people just haven't done it that way. Now, a lot of people have, and they've figured it out along the way. But in the cases where you find the most successful people, one of the things that you have to remember is that they went and they started actually hiring the right who. I recently read Shoe Dog. It's the owner of Nike. Well, past owner of Nike. I don't know if he still owns it. But he really had an interesting journey. I highly recommend the book. It's a great book if you haven't read it yet. And he talks a lot about realizing early on that he needed to actually, bring the who on. He was out selling shoes from the trunk of his car, and he realized he needed some help selling these things. And so he found that who. And little by little, he realized, I need help with the books. And he found that who. And then he needed help with, each little thing with the legal side of things. And he found that who along his journey. This is so, so important for us to remember as excited business owners, as people that are trying to move our business right along and create in the best way possible, to serve people in the best way possible. It's so important for us to continue to remember. It's not that we don't know it. I think it's about remembering it in the moment. It's important that we remember that we need those other people that are really experts at what it is that they do, experts at the thing that they have spent maybe a lifetime being in love with. It's important that we find people that are better than us at the things that we need help with. Now, in the beginning, it might start off that you are doing some things, but you need help with something else. Maybe you bring in somebody that can do the books for you so that they can make sure those books are perfect and they represent you in the best possible way. Maybe you need somebody that can create the product better than you, so you bring in that person. Maybe you need somebody that can bring more sales to you. And so maybe you're not a salesperson, so you find that person that can do the sales and they can actually bring customers to you along the way. There are lots of different ways for you to establish and figure out who your who is. This is huge, right? I believe one of the champions of this cause was Dan Sullivan. So you ought to look it up. He's got some great books and some really wonderful topics. But you have to remember that there are lots of people out there that I am sure are better at their thing, that thing you need help with, than you are. And you might be thinking, but how can I give up some of the money to do that, some of the profits, some of the revenue? And I think that it's important that you realize that finding them is going to do a lot of things. It's going to buy back your time. It's going to buy back better quality than maybe you could put out in your limited amount. You can only do so many things, and you only have so much space in your brain and in your energy that you get to use every day. So you'll buy back your time, you'll buy back some quality. You might buy better service for your customers because you might be run down trying to do everything. So you might be buying back some better service. You might be buying better sales. Unless that's your proficiency, there are people out there that have spent a lifetime selling things since they started a little lemonade stand on the corner of the block, and they loved sales. And maybe if you don't love sales, there are lots of people. I know it's hard to believe if you are not one of those people. It's hard to believe, but there are lots of people out there that love sales. And in some instances, you got to pay them up front, but in some instances, you can pay them a commission off of what they sell. And there are some salespeople out there that love that because they realize that there is no ceiling, there is no cap. They can earn as much as they want. All they have to do is sell the product. So it comes in every fashion. And honestly, you have to remember that none of the billionaires on this planet are actually billionaires because they tried to do it all themselves. In fact, in most instances, there are indications and stories of the most wealthy people realizing this and finding the who that could fill the gap for them so they could move faster, more efficiently, more quality being delivered. And this shows up everywhere. There's stories of Henry Ford on a trial that he was suing a newspaper for libel. And they brought him on the stand, and he got up there and they started grilling him, saying that he didn't know anything and he was ignorant and he wasn't very smart. And he paused them and finally said, but you know what? I have all of the people that know that. And if you'll give me 5 minutes, I can get the answers to all those questions that you just asked. Now, I don't know. I'm probably messing up the story, so you can go look it up. But the fact of the matter is that the most wealthy people know that there are people that are better than them in so many areas and maybe even in their own area. And it's important that we find those people and that we find those who and get them in so that we can get the help that we need, right? To be able to move our idea along. Now, let me ask you this. Is your idea worth progressing forward? Is your idea really the one? If it is, then you probably have to consider that you need the help. So look at the places where you have weaknesses and find those people. Find those people. Start with your weaknesses. In many instances, I have a little tree framework and I'm looking at the top. Maybe it's hardest to replace you at the top, but ultimately you want to do that. Ultimately, you want to get you out of it so that you can literally just do the things that you want to do. And that means getting you above the business, not even on the business, not even for sure not in the business, but we've got to get you above the business. And I know that might be outside of the range of where you're thinking in your current business right now, but that's okay. Honestly, right now, just think about your who and realize that it's almost always worth it to buy back your time with somebody that is excellent at what they do, because you're buying back so much more than your time. You're buying your energy back. You're buying your creativity and your ability to create more in your business. And you're also buying their expertise that can also supercharge what you're doing. There's so many great advantages, and I could probably go on and on and on about finding your who, right? But the fact of the matter is, and the principle is simple, you have to find your who. You have to get those people that can do it. And, you can do anything for a little period of time, but ultimately when you have the means, when you have the ability, it's important that you start working towards finding that who that can do the things that you need help with or that you need taken off your plate so that you can keep going and creating all the other things that are roaming around inside your creative entrepreneurial mind. I hope this helps. And if you know somebody that needs it, please share it with them and make sure that they get to hear this today too. And we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you so much for joining me today, and have a great, great week in business.
The choreography your business is running can determine whether you can grow and scale to the next level.
It's so easy just to take business day by day, but that can leave you putting out fires and keep you from growing.
Find out how the choreography for your marketing, operations, and sales can raise your revenue and create more impact.
Schedule a growth strategy analysis call with us today.
Go to bizchoreo.com to book your time.